Hi, I'm Sarah Cowgill, along with Dave Patterson, Graham Noble, Scott Cosenza, and John Clark. And this is the Conservative Five, Liberty Nation News online TV news program. It's official. The worst run city for the second year in a row is none other than San Francisco. The city by the bay, long an inspiration for crooners and poets, has become a place where the heart may have been left, but the rest of the body is fleeing to places less littered with feces, public drug use and abuse, and, hey, a more affordable environment. Wallet Hub does this livability study every year, and San Francisco is on the reoffending list every single time. Oh, I see the look on all your faces. I think I'm going to start with Dave, so just let us have it.
Well, Sarah, I think you're spot on with your article. San Francisco wins worst run city award again. You know, it's a perfect example, I believe, of what happens when totally incompetent liberal politicians are given reign over municipalities. Mayor London Breed's pitiful excuse about Wallet Hub making an unfair comparison is just ridiculous. You know, the only people have to do is to look at the videos and stills of the Tenderloin district, which used to be amazing to visit, and see what San Francisco has become. Literally, as you point out, piles of garbage, feces, hypodermic needles, and worse yet, drug-stupid vagrants and homeless. It's no wonder, actually, that out of the 148 major cities Wallet Hub surveyed, San Francisco was dead last, the worst, and not just by a little either. Drugs are killing San Franciscans faster than murderers. There were 17 murders in 2023 and 800 overdose deaths, principally from fentanyl. Thank you, Joe Biden's open border. San Francisco is ranked number 4 for overdose deaths among U.S. counties with more than 500,000 people. That's over twice the U.S. average per 100,000. And it's no wonder then that 55,000 San Francisco residents left the city in a single year. That's 6% of the city's population. No one should be surprised. You know, in Nashville, Tennessee, we were at a restaurant, and on the front door, in big letters, it says, "If you're new and from out of state, just remember why you moved here."
Well,
I wish those signs worked, by the way.
You've absolutely covered every blame in the world. It all goes back to those crazy progressives. Dave mentioned that San Francisco's mayor was shocked and they blamed it on bad metrics. But, Graham, really, do they fudge the numbers? No. This is Wallet Hub. They're very reliable. And I just want to know, is it really an unfair portrayal? Because I love San Francisco. Is the city getting a bad rep, or do I need to stay out of there?
Well, I think one could argue that the city's getting a bad rap. I mean, let's face it, it is one of the top destinations in the country for what I like to call urban camping. It is, if you're happen to be an alcoholic, you get free booze from the city. I think that's a pretty good deal for some people might say. So perhaps it's got a lot to offer, but I think Wallet Hub's problem is that the folks at Wallet Hub that do this rankings, they don't quite understand what the priorities are in the city of San Francisco. Now, Mayor London Breed is actually running for re-election, and she highlighted one of the main priorities when she, during the debate, actually challenged one of the candidates running against her. She challenged him to name, quote, 3 LGBTQ advisors for your campaign and 3 drag queens. So, come on, Wallet Hub, you've got to get your priorities right.
You got to get with the progressive program.
Clearly, the mark of a good mayor, a good chief executive for the city, is how many cross-dressers they have advising them. And and I think future's looking pretty good for San Francisco, despite its current problems. If you're taking that attitude, it's very inclusive. Look, you can go there. It's very business friendly right now. You can go there and find office space because about 37% of the office space in San Francisco is vacant. So, you can set up shop anywhere you like.
I like the whole free boost thing from the
Perhaps,
city. I mean, maybe we should have our next hoo-ha there.
yeah, absolutely.
Saying,
No, but it is,
Is that
is
mid
obviously a
shelf or
disaster.
what are they pouring over there?
I'm not
I'm,
sure.
I'm hoping top
I think
shelf
it's
because,
probably
what's
the
the
stuff
point?
from the well. I think it's
Okay.
the well booze.
Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid. Yeah.
Kool-Aid with a tint of something else. Scott, San Francisco's got a big gross domestic product. They put money out like crazy. So how do they not have a handle on this? I mean, it didn't sneak up on them?
Well, before I answer your question, Sarah, I want to attend to Dave's comment about the newcomers coming from somewhere else and then soiling the place that they arrive, because that is not talked about enough. Virginia used to be a place where people valued individual liberty over big daddy government, and that has now changed completely. And that's not my saying it. It's the New York Times saying it with their expose about why voting in Virginia changed all of a sudden. And it was because of these Northeasterners, refugees from New Jersey and Massachusetts who made a little money. They're in the tech game. They could come down to Virginia. There's many tech opportunities here. And then they vote to instill the very policies that drove them away from where they came from. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there, Dave.
North Carolina is going in the same direction. At least the
North
northern
Carolinas are getting hit hard.
We need
And,
more
uh,
signs.
What are they just
like the
going to
board.
run out their gas there and go, okay, well,
Right.
we're done destroying this place and now we're going to die. I don't get it.
Well, that's why I had to flee to Mississippi.
Yeah, and then where's your next spot though? They got to
Well,
stake
but-
that.
I'm
out,
not fleeing anywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
a little over
There you go.
100,000 people just moved into Indiana, probably from Illinois. So, Clark, are there
Well, let me go
any-
back to the city by the bay and just say my one comment to answer your question, so I can say I did answer it, is they are attending to their priorities. They are spending on their priorities. Their priorities are whatever the latest progressive fad is that gets them to stay in office and be elevated to the next office. And
Well, don't
I
they
think
need
that-
taxes from all the people fleeing? So if they need those taxes, why don't they try to help these people?
it's like a right out of Atlas Shrugged. They just always think there's going to be a next victim. They're just not worried about it.
Mhm.
John Clark, are you
Yes.
still with us today?
I'm patiently waiting to observe that we need those signs in Vermont as well. We've been saying it for years that people move here for, our rural countryside, and then they want to pave everything, put up street lights and put in sidewalks and destroy it, as they already have in many parts of America. It's urban creep. But as to San Francisco, I want to, maybe not take issue with Dave, but Dave said no one would be shocked. I think the reason that San Francisco is so noteworthy is that it is kind of shocking. Now, this may be my own perception. I haven't been there. I didn't know about the free booze or Kool-Aid of any variety. Maybe I'll go now, but I don't want to get shot and killed. San Francisco, in my understanding, as a person, as an outsider, has always been viewed as sort of a beautiful city, a clean city, a destination where people went because it was so safe and wonderful. It seems to be kind of the opposite of what you'd expect. Now, we expect this in Chicago or LA or New York City, where these policies and the drugs and the crime and the unemployment have been devouring them. But in San Francisco, I think it's a bigger canary in the social justice coal mine. It shows us that you can even destroy a properly functioning city with stupid ideas. And in anticipation of this, I looked at a couple of other studies. A recent report based on FBI data shows that 4 of the most dangerous cities in America are in Oregon. But if you look around, you'll see that, another it's called World Population Review, ranked a city in California as the worst city in the country. But as you did here, we're looking at certain metrics. And if you look at other standards, 5 of the best cities in the country to live in are also by another ranking, I think from Forbes. in California. So I think at root, it comes down to demographics and policies more than geographical location or even necessarily size. But what we see persistently is no matter what you do, when you implement defund the police, free drugs, no accountability for criminality, and all of these other very expensive policies that are driving taxpayers out, you're going to destroy any city of any size. And that's why I think it isn't shocking, but I think so that's why people are taking notice of San Francisco in particular.
There's free drugs too, and free booze. You said free booze. Now you've added free drugs too.
Free drugs in Oregon.
It's drug paraphernalia. You can just get loaded up and.
Wow.
Oregon is just collapsing. They actually legalized all drugs, and methamphetamine and other users flock there. California, I believe, have similar liberalities, but I don't know.
They're not giving it away.
People that abuse these drugs and need these drugs and are drug addicted can move to Oregon and call it good. I mean, I want to know if there's one big city is there one big city in this country that can claim they're run by smart people? Because I don't see it. There might be one. I just don't know where it is. Anyone?
No, I think you're exactly right, Sarah. I don't think any large city can claim that life is good and that people should come there, because most of the large cities are losing populations for the very reasons that we talked about. And I think to John's point, one of the reasons that it's not surprising is because this is a trend, and it has been going on now for several years, if not a decade.
So now it's just becoming, well, this is what we got. Let's not fix it. Is that what we're doing? Are we just being complacent?
Well, the people fled the cities because of the mismanagement, but they had for this legacy of the tax base for companies. And we're just seeing, ever since the pandemic collapse of in-office attendance, I think we're seeing now, this is like the first ripple out of the eventual collapse of them because of the lack of the tax base and the people who go, I'm just thinking of DC near where I live, where, the ocean of people that would go in every day and spend money has been cut back so substantially. The kind of native base is, people, they have kids, they want some space, they want some safety, they move away from the cities, especially when they get increasingly costly and dangerous, which is what we have now seemingly across the board.
And I think too, there's an insidious trend also that's going on, and that is the people who have the capability to make changes or have ideas that would make things better are gone.
Well, I think part of the problem, and I think it's part of the progressive mindset in some of these cities. You'd think that the people running San Francisco would be alarmed. In fact, you'd think the people running the state of California would be alarmed at the exodus. But I don't believe they are, because I believe all they care about is they want the people who living in their state or in their city. They only want those people who are going to toe the line, are going to go along with their crazy policies, and are going to be kind of in lockstep behind the government and keep re-electing the same people. I think the reason why they're not actually concerned about the exodus is because they're saying to themselves, well, if you don't like the way we're doing things, then we don't actually want you here anyway. Get going,
They've been uninvited,
which is not a practical way to look at it, but I believe that that's how progressives do look at it.
Well, I think so too. They can't handle any kind of outside thought, that might poke a hole in their bubble. It used to be that people from the, Midwest and the rural areas would go to the big cities for job opportunities and this and that and the other thing. And it's the exact opposite now. People are finally going, oh, that small town living wasn't so bad. And I don't know. But it's distressing for the iconic city. Lively and clanging with cable cars, teeming with the freshest dockside seafood and sourdough. And it was once a very cultural, progressive, and contained community. I mean, Mayor Breed, come on, get it together. That's it for our Conservative 5 panel today. Check out our other C5 shows and segments on your favorite video platform, YouTube, Vimeo, Rumble. We're on them all. As well, Liberty Nation News has its own Roku channel where you can see all of our TV productions. I'm your host, Sarah Cowgill. Thanks for joining us today. For free thinking, free speech, libertynation.com.